Welcome back. Many organizations still don't take adequate measures, though, to back up their critical business data, and those that do aren't making sure the data that is backed up is easily and quickly retrievable to maintain business continuity. Joining us from the TSX Broadcast Center with more is Steve Roden, President and CEO of Storagepipe Solutions. Steve, good to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
A very timely story here. It's all in the news insofar as security issues, because security issues seem to appear every single day in business.
It's very true. With most of our clients, we've certainly seen different security issues in creating demand for our solutions around data protection. It's definitely been a strong point.
So, two-step process here. How do you do it without giving away proprietary information, of course? But what is the process, and how do you make it easier for people to get the information back?
One of the key things about online backup and recovery is that it makes it easy for customers to retrieve that information. Rather than having to run their own infrastructure, for companies to run all their own backup and infrastructure in-house, now they're able to outsource that to a provider like ourselves and enable them to back that up over the internet, over a direct connection. And with bandwidth prices coming down these days, it's been an amazing trend to move to online backup, and one that really provides a lot of benefits for customers.
So how big a company, or maybe reverse that, how small a company would still have to have this kind of a service in their repertoire in order to really be secure in today's marketplace?
Sure. It really ranges. Companies from small companies with small numbers of employees all the way up to large enterprises can use this technology. It really lends itself to working with companies of all sizes, because they can tailor the solution from an online provider to enable them to really scale that and allow it to grow with them. In fact, it's one of their key benefits, which is it allows, by using an online service, it allows the companies to grow into the solution over time, really in this notion of, which is also another very popular concept these days, is utility computing. And this really ties into that whole model of utility computing and being able to use resources as you need them, and be able to outsource information and outsource responsibility to providers who are experts and who provide best practices to those companies.
Now, when a potential client says to you, well, how do I know that this backup information stored off-site is going to be secure, what's the response?
Well, we absolutely use a very secure facility and secure technology to enable that, and we often work with our customers to, obviously enlighten them on why it's more secure. And in fact, with our solution being off-site at a very protected, data center and with very secure technology, it's often more secure than the solutions that companies have in place, where some companies are simply having, employees take tapes, backup tapes home with them at the end of the day, which is really an unsecure kind of way of doing things. But you'd be amazed by how many companies we go into where that's certainly the case, and also how many companies, where the situation is you walk into a meeting with somebody and they sort of knock on wood and say, well, this is their backup strategy. And really, it's amazing how many companies are relying on luck for their disaster recovery and for their backup recovery, rather than looking to specialists and providers who can really give a good best practices policy-based approach.
How did Storagepipe Solutions as a company come about in the first place?
It was founded several years ago, and really the founders had a vision where the trends were moving to online backup. And this was a trend that's been building for the last number of years. As I said, as bandwidth prices came down and doing things remotely, the whole area, again, another big trend in software is software as a service. And really that's what we're offering. We're offering the backup capability as a service, and enabling companies to use it as a service, use it on a monthly basis as they need it, grow with it as their companies grow, and as they introduce new infrastructure. And it really just provides a ton of benefit for IT departments and companies to optimize their IT resources, enable them to improve the quality of their overall data protection, and ultimately reduce the cost of their operations.
So is it literally an ongoing process, or like at the end of the business day, for instance, does the material, the content get shifted over, or is it done weekly, or is it an ongoing process?
There's a variety of ways we move data with our customers to our facility, but certainly at the end of the day, companies' data is protected on a regular basis, whether that's through continuous data protection or whether it's through a nightly backup procedure. Both are certainly options that are available, and you take your pick depending on the customer situation.
What is the biggest threat ongoing today to business? Is it random attacks, or is it systematic assaults that are planned? People trying to hack into company XYZ that if we mentioned the name, we'd be going, yeah, we know those guys.
Well, certainly it's a variety of things that happen. I mean, it really follows a spectrum from companies on a very regular basis losing a file. I mean, the very common situation of an employee doing a save instead of a save as on an old document that they were modifying is a very, very common situation, for example, for an individual file. And that moves all the way from that scenario all the way up to a full-scale disaster. And it's been reported in a number of research articles recently that when companies have a full-scale disaster, a lot of those companies just never get back into business because of the nature of that. So you're really placing at risk a lot of your company's assets, your whole employee base, when you don't protect your data properly. And I think as most companies now rely so much on their customer information, so much on the information that is a part of their business, it is becoming even a more critical aspect of every company's operations to protect their data effectively and productively.
Steve, our exit question for you. How many people do you have at Storagepipe? And if people want to get in touch with you in terms of their security concerns, how do they do that?
Sure. Storagepipe is located at www.storagepipe.com, and we encourage people to come check us out. And certainly we've been around for 5 years and we've been growing, so we're excited by the prospects for our business.
Fascinating stuff, Steve. Thanks so very much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks very much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.